Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to present these ideas. I am Romario Martinez, and today I want to explore how microbes can help us to design healthier and more adaptive habitats for life being Earth. Um, I want to say some key aspects about me. I am a sport nutrition from Universidad Veracruzana in Mexico. I work with athletes at the mountain, especially I work with trail runners that run in the mountain at night with cold environment, with high altitude, sometimes with days on the road running 100 miles and that kind of stuff. So when we work with this kind of athletes, we learn a lot of about how we can design the nutritious for this extreme environment. So this where my journey began, working with these athletes who run in deserts and under very extreme conditions. So this made me think about how could the athlete in space could thrive with the correct nutrition or the and taking in account all these aspects that we understand right now. And we have a explosion about the information about the microbes, not just in the intestinal microbes, but also applying these microbes in like synthetic biology, in um, construction processes, construction bioprocurement. And this is something that I present in my internship with the guidance of Jen Blank in the Blue Marble Institute. So I bring these two ideas, the Holobiont and the exposome. But before we talk about the space habitat, I want to start with something fundamental. Our biology was shaped in an open, diverse ecosystem rich in light, air, water, and microbes. For millions of years, humans co-evolved with these microbes around us, and they were part of our food, our landscapes, and the environment. But today, the environment changed, and the microbes are fewer than were before. And this creates a mismatch between our physiology and what we really want to do in the space. Because in the space, everything is sterile, and this uh, could put us in a very difficult challenge try to maintain the health of the astronaut. So I want to bring these views about into the space habitat design. The first one is the exposome, that this represents the total set of environmental exposures, physical, chemical, and biological, that interact during our lifetime. And it includes everything from air particles, noise, light cycles, temperature, microbes, stress, and even social environments. We need to understand that the astronaut, it's in an extreme environment. It could be the hazard from the emotional part. We can, when we take out the astronaut from the Earth with no family, with no comfort foods, all this could put us in some space of danger at the astronaut. The second one, or the second view, is the holobiont. The holobiont, it's the organism with all the microbes associated. And we need to understand that we evolved with the microbes along this time. From 2 million years ago, the microbes change with our diets. And this is something very important because we can use the microbes to adapt us to the space. Just like other times, just like in the past, we can use these microbes to improve our chances to thrive uh, deep space or Mars, for example. We need to understand that design space habitats it's very different from LEO, low Earth orbit, where magnetosphere offers partial radiation protection, but microgravity deeply modifies physiology and the microbiome. At the moon, we don't have this protection, this radiation protection, and we have higher radiation, extreme temperatures, and long light dark cycles. And we need to start to think about how all these exposomes, all these variables affect the microbes, how these different sets of environments affect the microbes. And in Mars or in the travel to deep space, we face even more harmful environments with cosmic radiation, isolation, malnutrition, and this is something that has to is related with what we want to do. For example, if we want to have a nutritious meal in space, and we also want to use plants, we need to understand how microbes influence the physiology of the plant, but also how the microbes influence the physiology of the astronaut. And we need to think about a little bit more about the microbes and how could this be part of our most important strategy to achieve these goals. Microbes not only can be used to uh, create new foods or fermented foods in space, or these new technologies that are targeting the gut of the astronauts, but we can also use the microbes from terraforming Mars, like pioneer microbes. This is something that I read recently, how Pioneer Labs, this enterprise, is using microbes to propose how we can terraform in Mars. So I think microbes are becoming central. As a nutritionist, I start to realize how important are the microbes, not just in the extreme environments, not just in the athletes, but also uh, in some conditions like Alzheimer, like dysbiosis, like cancer. I think that microbes are very important, and we need to focus on how these microbes are related to immunomodulation, because in the space, the inflammation is something that we need to take seriously, but also in the most of the disease on Earth, this is a constant. So microbes help us to build bridges between Earth and space, but also can help us to uh, create a new set of innovation to help people on Earth. Uh, and this is something that uh, I want to uh, take in count or communicate is how can we use microbes to design resilient habitats in extreme environments. What do we bring back home? How does space biology can help us on Earth? And this is something that it's happening right now. We are currently using these ideas, this information to propose that we can use the same technology and the innovation that we want to use to try space to help our problems on Earth. And specifically, I am working with communities that suffer from fire, and we are trying to introduce microbes, improve the landscape, the soil that has been affected by the fires, but also we propose to use fermented food from their from from animals, from the milk, for example, that is in the community. So we can create a superfood from a normal food like milk, and but also we can use these microbes to improve the soil that has been affected by the fire. And the same way that we need to this microbial partner to stabilize ecosystem, we can use it to improve or degrade environment systems. Um, to me, it's almost the end of my presentation, but I really think that we can use microbes to improve the or to have a better chances here on Earth. I have the first perspective of this, and for me, the space is just a context. It's just it's the context where I learn how to improve the health of my athletes and try to propose some ideas to improve the ecology of a community and the good health of uh, um, of a set of environments or farmers. All these communities could be improved with the microbes, and this is something that I really believe. And applying this concept in the Holobiont and the exposome into the daily life of an astronaut, we can use the microbes to food production with reactors. We can use it in the kitchen, designing fermented foods or a new generation of foods for the astronaut using neurogastronomy. But also we need to understand how the other exposures affect the microbe. For example, we know that the sleep and circadian rhythm disruptions affects profoundly the metabolic health of the microbes. So we have a very interesting innovation and technology in front of our faces, and we can apply this on Earth. And this is something that it's already happened and makes me very excited about all these aspects of the space. But what we propose is basically use these two lanes to design habitats, connect ecology, environment, and technology. Using AI, it's going to be central in the future, but also try to bring back to Earth all this technology to help the communities, the insights from extreme environment, extreme societies on Earth, and finally, human-centered design. These lessons from habitats applied broadly, and I'm going to change this last title. Holobiont Center Design could be a better title because we need to understand that it's not just about the human, it's about the microbes that are associated to this in this ecosystem that we call Homo sapiens. And to me, it's my last slides. Is my last slide. And I want to thank you to the organizers of the Space Habitat. And especially, I want to thank you to Dr. Jane Blank and Blue Marble Institute crew that helped me arrive to this and help me to communicate these ideas in order to achieve or have uh, a chance to contribute to to the space, but also to the Earth. Thank you.